to Afters with Joe and Chelsea. We are back with another episode on nutrition. We're going to round everything off and give you some tips and tricks for challenges, everyday challenges that you may or may not face. Okay, let's get to it. So, everyday challenges. We're obviously about to face one now with you going on a school trip. Nice holiday. In fact, you will be on holiday when this airs, won't you?
I will be. I'll be on the slopes of Azerbaijan.
Skiing, even though you've never skied before.
That's what you become a PE teacher for, right? All expenses paid.
Even though you're just going to be sat at the bottom of all the kids that come skiing.
No, it's not true. How hard can it be? Stay tuned for how we go on.
Yeah, maybe we'll post some videos. So you're going away. What are you going to do in terms of your nutrition? Because you are very rigid with what you eat and your prep. Like you're prepping on a Sunday, you're making your salads in the morning, you have your salads, you have yogurt, you have your protein balls, which you prep. And you're very consistent with what you eat on a day-to-day basis when you're at work. So what are you going to do when you go away?
It's a good question because I am very meticulous with what I eat day to day, and I like to make sure I'm organised. It's kind of like one of my pillars that I follow. So there will be challenges because firstly I don't know what food I'm going to have access to.
What food do they have in Azerbaijan?
I don't know. It's Eastern European, so.
Sausage? Schnitzel? Am I in the right area there?
Maybe, yeah, like almost like Germanish.
Right, okay.
I don't know, maybe Russian as well, Russian cuisine. I don't know what their cuisine's like. Anyway, it's unknown. So I'm going to have to kind of just deal with what I'm given. But because it's a resort as well, I feel like there's not going to be like a McDonald's, there's not going to be a KFC, there's not going to be any real fast food outlets. However, there's going to be a lot of fried food, there's going to be a lot of like chips and things like that. So it's trying to make sure that in the meals that I have access to, or the food, I'm trying to get the diversity, of what I'd get here. So not having.
What are you going to do without your kefir in the morning?
Yeah, the mornings make me a bit anxious. I'll be honest, because I love my yogurt and kefir and stuff. So I think I'm going to try not to be drawn into like how everyone else deals with it, because I know the people I'm going with and the children are going to be unhealthy. So it's trying to stay true to what I do normally, but at the same time not kind of like being too harsh on myself. So
enjoy yourself.
No, but like not so I'm a bad person now because I've not been able to stick to my fasting or my whatever, my healthy whole food meals. So it's not getting drawn into like what I wouldn't normally have. So for example, if I'm skiing, I'm going to want energy, but I'm going to try and not be drawn into like, well, all the kids are having chocolate, so I can have chocolate. Or
it's really hard, isn't it? Like in the everyday world, to not be drawn into what other people are doing.
At dinner or lunchtime, not going for dessert because I know I wouldn't normally go for dessert at school because I'm on skiing. Oh, well, I can get away with it. Maybe once or twice, but not every day.
Yeah.
Not making it a habit of eating food that is going to affect my stomach, affect my energy, affect everything else. So I want to stay as consistent as possible, eating whole food, avoiding ultra processed food, but at the same time you've got to be realistic. So I think I'm going to have to stick to as much fruits and vegetables as I can. Avoid like the chocolate bars, things like that, and just see how I go with it. I think there'll be a few hot chocolates drank.
Oh, I mean,
So-
hot chocolates on the top of a
You
mountain.
can't really deny that, can you?
Everybody talks about them. It's one of the highlights of when I did a ski trip when I was younger as well.
So yeah, look, when I'm going to be in the air, traveling, and like we like to normally do a 20-hour fast, don't we? 24-hour fast.
Yeah, we set the gap.
So I'm going to try to stick to that because I feel better when I get there, wherever I'm traveling. You can pass your stall easier.
You can go mental.
But you just don't really know. Like I feel like when you travel, you kind of eat for the sake of it, don't you? Because it's there.
On the plane.
On the plane,
Yeah.
when you get there, at the airport, it's everywhere, isn't it? Whereas
I have to
just
admit, like,
listen to your body. Like
not eating airplane food, we've probably done it now for maybe the last 4 times we've travelled.
Yeah.
And the stomach cramps and the gas that I used to experience, and sometimes it would be so intense, like I was in so much pain. I don't have that because I'm not putting that really high salt, saturated, not saturated fat, just saturated food. Feels good. It's felt good. Not having airplane food.
that's science behind it, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Not eating for the sake of it. That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah. Like obviously you want to enjoy yourself. Like a big part of people going away and going on holiday is eating good food. Well, they think it's good food. A lot of food, like being able to not really think about, oh, I can't have that. But at the same time, you've got to, if you've truly changed your mentality, if you've truly changed your lifestyle, you won't think like that anyway.
Yeah.
You won't binge and not be able to moderate for a whole week if you are in the right mindset anyway. And I'm not saying it's easy for everyone. I'm not saying everyone can do it, and it won't happen overnight. But if you have put the work in to be consistent, when you do go away, you are more likely to make better choices with your food.
Be better. Yeah, well, that kind of makes me a little bit of a hypocrite, doesn't it? Because I'm very organised and good with my food, but only because you're basically my chef. So
It'd be interesting to see in the comments to this and on our Instagram how many people actually cook their own food, or who in the household is the main chef cook, and do they kind of like contribute? Does everyone contribute? Is it just one person? Like
yeah, I feel like statistically it's more weighted towards one person doing more
than sharing,
than it being completely equal.
How the tables have turned.
I know.
Chelsea's going to be without a personal chef for 6 to 7 days.
Yeah, that was like the first thing I was upset about, wasn't it? When you told me
not
to go
one
home.
no one's cooking food, making salads.
Yes, you do.
So, yeah, my diet will probably be better than Chelsea's, to be fair. Because you will.
Yeah, but I feel like you're also going away at the week where I'm like due on, so my cravings are like through the roof at the moment. And with that comes like the not wanting to do anything but just lay down. So
what could you do this weekend?
I could do some prep this
Could,
weekend. Oh, here he is. You've been a teacher now, aren't you?
Could, yeah.
What do you think you could do?
Guided discovery.
I'm actually really looking forward to doing the shop and sending you pictures of everything I've prepped just to prove you wrong.
Yeah, we'll do it. I'll believe it.
That's great motivation, and because you've said that my diet's going to be shit while you're away, it makes me want to do it now.
There you go. No, but the thought of sometimes having to prep food can sometimes be overwhelming, and it's so easy to slip into, I'll just buy something at work, I'll buy something on the way to work, the convenience of it. But I believe everyone will think potentially the same as I do in that situation. When you actually go and buy the food and you consume the thing that you didn't really want to buy, it makes you feel worse. Like it pushes
you never usually feel bad.
It pushes you down the hill even more that
Yeah.
you didn't want to be in the first place. It's that kind of like instant gratification of, oh yeah, well that's fine, I can save time. But then when you actually go and do it and you buy the food, you're like, this isn't great, is it?
No.
You know you're making the wrong decision. So just try and think about that. Think about the future self. I say this a lot, don't I? Think about future Joe.
Yeah, we always
Future
say
Chelsea.
that, don't we? Future
Good
Joe,
way to
future
think of
Chelsea.
things. Even like trivial stuff like, I don't know, putting your shoes away, or which I don't do, or putting the clothes away, or making the bed. Like think of future Joe. He's going to really appreciate that.
I feel like you just named things there that I do.
I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying it's true. Relatable examples.
Yeah. Or like, for example, like when you load the dishwasher in an evening, sometimes you can't be asked, but then when you do it, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, yes, well done.
Oh, it's great.
Because now I can just put the kettle on, I've got clear space to make my lunches.
Me make lunches. Yeah, great. Like anything, and that always links to food, nutrition.
And then you can show gratitude, because then you can go, thank you, past Chelsea.
Just pushing through that kind of like barrier of kind of lazy version of yourself. What would be your kind of viewpoint of going on holiday? What do you try and stick to? Is there anything that like you follow?
I think I really struggle with this one, because I do. I think I feel bad telling people what I want. So like if it's on holiday and it's just me and you, then I think that's fine, because you're both in that same kind of similar mindset. So you're going to enjoy yourself, you're going to enjoy a holiday, you're going to have an ice cream when you go to the beach, you might have that pasta dish or that pizza when you go out for dinner. But overall, you will make better choices throughout the day. So you might then decide, do you know what, I'm not going to have a sandwich because we're going for pizza tonight, so I'm going to have a salad. Or we're going to go somewhere that's got fresh pizza bread, pizza dough that they make in a pizza oven, rather than just going to like a takeout on the side of the street.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you maybe go away and you're with other people, maybe you're visiting people, or maybe you're just with a different group, it does feel harder to go, actually, I don't want that, or actually, can you not get anything in? I'm going to buy it myself.
Oh, it's massive.
And I'll cook. Because there's almost an element of being a little bit rude and ungrateful, which it's not. You just have a preference, but I don't know, there's a bit of a line, isn't there? And I think that's what I struggle with when I go away.
Yeah, I think when people are hosting you, and we get this a lot because we travel back home to see friends and family, and people are putting us under their roof for free. You almost feel obliged that you have to kind of slot into their kind of nutritional choices to an extent.
Yeah.
And I like to kind of offer to cook with my family. If we were to ever host friends, I would do the same. We normally eat out though with friends.
Yeah.
But family listen to this will kind of know our kind of reliance on like yogurt, kefir, seeds.
Yeah, like shout out to our families, because they do actually stock the fridge with things that they've heard we've started eating, which is really sweet. And
the whole like vegetarian thing with you as well. Like I understand what you're saying. It's okay to kind of make a not so good choice here and there on some meals, but I think for anyone going away for a significant amount of time, week or more, you have to do what's right for your body, and don't try try and not be pressured into making those other choices. It's so hard. Like I've been there. All your mates are ordering the pizza, and you actually don't want the pizza, but because there's like that social, societal peer pressure of
You might get judged if, like, what you're talking about. You want a quinoa, kale, beetroot salad. Like what? But I genuinely do want that.
But I feel like in Dubai that doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. No.
Whereas UK, you get battered.
I feel like there's a lot of option on the menus out here, though.
You get battered at home for not having something.
Not having a beer and something carby. Yeah.
What would be your overall, because we're not perfect by no means, what would be, not just talking about holidays now, what's the hardest thing you have experienced or you experience by trying to follow a nutritional diet that's good for you?
The hardest thing for me, this is just personal, is obviously the gut-friendly diet that we follow at the moment is great, and it's been the best thing for me in terms of consistency, because you're looking at the food and your reaction to that food, not the way that you look, which is great for me because I have suffered with gut issues for as long as I can remember. But I think the most difficult thing, and I'm sure there's women that can relate to this as well, it's the peaks and troughs of cravings and not feeling guilty about those. So, I'll be honest, it's not yesterday because this is coming out on Monday, but the other day I texted you and I was like, can you bring me some biscuits home on your way home? And that can make me look like a huge hypocrite because that's ultra processed food. And I could also beat myself up because I know that my gut is not going to particularly enjoy that. And I probably am going to get cramps or bloating. But at the same time, that is what I was craving at the time because I'm due on and my body craves different things. And I try not to let myself get too guilty about that because I'm not perfect. Usually it's something carby like bread that I crave, but this month, bread, but this month it was biscuits, and I've not had that craving in a very, very, very long time. And that I think that is the most difficult thing because you can follow this great diet, you have a craving because of whatever. For me, it was hormones. And you could satisfy that craving, and then you could spend the next however many days and weeks feeling really shit about yourself. Why did I do that? Now I've got to reset everything. Like, there's no hope. Like, I can't even get through one period without giving in to a craving. Actually, it's a journey, and I'm allowed to have those cravings, and I'm also allowed to satisfy those cravings. And that doesn't mean that I'm not healthy. That doesn't mean that I make better choices more frequently. And it doesn't mean that I don't do things that are good for my health and my gut. It just means that I'm human. And that sometimes I am going to eat something that isn't good for me. And that's okay. And I think for women especially, it's hard to get over that hurdle because you end up beating yourself up so much about that thing that you did that you probably shouldn't have done. You think you're then starting again, but you know it's a journey. You don't have to reset because you ate that biscuit. You just don't then carry on eating biscuits for the next 4 weeks because you've like sparked something in, like the crazy biscuit hormone inside you.
No, that's great. I was probably going to say something similar to that not from a female craving point of view, but from cravings, like when you let your emotions get too much for you, a lot of people will respond by going to food to comfort them. And definitely last year when I was in a more stressful job, the resorting back to just having a takeaway or getting a dessert. Oh, what's that place called?
Dip and dip.
Dip and dip.
Oh my god,
my
shout out to
days.
Qatar.
Shout out to
So good.
Ben Morgan, who's still there. Get yourself a dip and dip, lad. Yeah, just I feel that can sometimes take over a little bit. Also, for me, I think my biggest challenge is, or the barrier I face with nutrition is, I'm so easily influenced by making a bad decision about nutrition.
Yeah.
All it takes is you to say something. It's the way you say it. No, I'm not blaming it. It's the way you say it. It's like, oh, what have we got for dinner tonight?
It's the tone,
Yeah,
isn't it?
you're like, what's for dinner tonight again? And I'm like, okay, she wants the dinner. That
You
I'm
mean the
cooking.
exact thing that you just did to me tonight?
And then you'll be like, well, what's meant to be for dinner tonight? And
yes.
it's like, oh hello. Is this my opportunity to say, well, we could get takeaway? So for me, I'm just so easily influenced, and whether it be because I work in an office, a PE office, someone brings in any sort of chocolate, sweets, cake, it's really difficult for me to not eat it.
Mm. I always say
Really
with this though, I think it's easier to not have one in the first place than it is to have one and not go back for more.
Yeah, I agree. At the same time, as long as it's not every day, why not treat yourself?
Yeah, why not?
As long as it's not, like I said, it's not happening every day, because.
However, in the PE department, it is quite
No,
frequent. I mean, I'm pretty sure you told me like at least 5 times this month that someone's come in with something.
This month?
Am I making that up?
You're making that up.
Oh, I caught a nerve then.
No. Someone brought in some celebrations last week. That's it. Obviously the bounties need eating because no one likes them.
No one likes them.
No, but in all seriousness, like, it's so normal to like not be perfect with food. Like, people must look at us, but there's a little beep from someone's fans. They think they're all high and mighty, like they're talking about all this rubbish, like kefir and fermented foods, and they have all this sleep and everything. That we don't do anything wrong, but we do. Like, we do eat bad food, like, but we just have the structure in place, the systems in place where we are more consistent than inconsistent.
And I think when you start being more consistent, you also enjoy the way things taste and the way it makes you feel when you are eating.
Oh, massive difference.
And making better choices.
Yeah.
So then when you do have that treat or that craving that you satisfy, it's not always as great as you make out in your head it's going to be.
Yeah.
So then you don't carry on doing it, every day.
Yeah. We are obviously not experts on nutrition. We don't have any qualifications in nutrition. We only have
But you should listen to us. We've
only got our personal experiences, obviously our physiques to look at. Obviously, you can't see the insides of our organs.
Are you telling me to take my clothes off?
No. I'm just saying that's all you can kind of like judge what we're saying by, isn't it? Like a PT, you're not going to like hire a fat PT.
I don't know, some people do.
I mean, it's stupid if you are. The thing I wanted to share is where people can go to maybe find out a little bit more information from people that have got qualifications or who have done some research or things like that. So there's so many things online, but there's a lot of people who we've listened to. Drum roll, go on, say the name, get over and done with.
Come on then. Oh, you're asking me to do it?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my days, of course you know what you're talking about. Who do you mention every blooming podcast?
Me, Dr. Mindy.
Yes, there we go. That's someone you can go and listen to. You can also listen to our previous podcasts with Jackman and Gory.
Chris Jackman and Gory Matthews.
You can go on to the High Performance Podcast. You can go on to Diary of a CEO. You can go on to Modern Wisdom. Some fantastic people on those podcasts that are giving you their wealth of knowledge for free by having these conversations.
It's amazing, really, isn't it?
They ask some fantastic questions. They're going about ultra processed food, whole food, what it's doing to our blood sugar levels, what's going on with all these different things. So
yeah,
that's where you go to listen and read a bit more about nutrition. To finish, we thought we'd do something that we've learned from one of my colleagues at school over here. Shout out Jess Nobler, if she's ever going to listen, probably not. One of the first things she asked us when we moved here, never met before, was, "What's your death row meal?" But she said it in a Scouse accent. I can't do a Scouse accent.
Come on, you've been practicing.
You got to do like a word to get into the accents. What's your death row meal? Hey, Chelsea, what's your death row meal? That's awful. So, death row meal. You're about to get the chop. That sounds weird. You're about to get the injection.
Yeah, people know what death row meal is, babe.
I know, I'm just setting the scene, man.
You don't need to set the scene.
You've got a breakfast, you've got a starter, main dessert, and then it's the chop. What are you going for?
Stop saying the chop.
The injection.
Okay, so my starter would be some sort of either like breaded camembert, so melted with some sort of sweet chutney, or like just camembert that you bake in the oven.
Right.
And then you only want people to know this because my name's something that you make, isn't it?
Believe it or not,
I knew there was an ulterior motive to this.
Someone said that about me, chef for me the other day. So just wanted to air this out to the whole world. Come on. What's your main? On the last day on your earth.
How many listeners do you think we've got?
Loads.
Okay, so my main would be your stew, JT's vegetable stew with fresh, crispy French stick and butter. Low pack butter.
Salted and salt.
No, we don't need to go that much detail. I don't mind.
Got it salted.
Why are we having this conversation about? No.
Salted butter on warm baguette bread.
This is my meal, not yours. And then dessert, I would have. Oh yes, my mum's key lime pie cheesecake.
Shout out to that. Nice.
Right, yours?
Strong.
Yeah,
Strong.
that is strong, isn't it? There's going to be a lot of people listening to this like, what the... Why would you waste your death row meal on those things? But, you know, I like what I like.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd be going... what are they called?
I might throw a milkshake in there as well. Are you allowed to drink?
Yeah, we didn't do a drink last time, did we?
No.
Chicken satay skewers.
Nice.
Some
I don't know what to say nice.
unbelievable like chicken satay sauce. You know, like the proper nice one you get from like Thai places.
Right.
Beautifully cooked chicken and skewers to start us off, and then main, I'm gonna have to go with a sirloin steak rare with asparagus and creamy cheesy mashed potato.
So you're on death row and you're going to take a chicken and a cow down with you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice.
Get me going. Because just when you get a steak right, there's just nothing better. I was going to say roast dinner because there's a lot of elements to that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I wouldn't actually enjoy the dessert because I'd be too full.
Yeah, roast really
Because you can
is
have
just,
it like straight after each other. You're not going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, can I just wait an hour?
yeah, can you just
No, you don't. I would put it away. And then I'd finish with the birthday cake. So I'm talking like proper Vicky sponge, moist Vicky sponge with the fake fondant icing on top.
See, Julie, when you listen to this, I told you how obsessed he is
It's
with
unreal.
a specific
Well, no,
cake.
because everyone knew how much I ate for my 30th birthday. I had like 6 slices of cake.
I know you did. You're very adamant about the specifics of that
Yeah,
cake.
like cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory was very close second, and potentially brownie, like a hot, like a warm
Yeah,
brownie
something chocolatey.
with like real
That's where I
cold
think I'd
vanilla
have a
ice cream.
chocolate milkshake.
Yeah.
Like the fruity cheesecake and then.
And yeah, my drink would just be water. Just go for water, nice cold water, just to put it all down. So I enjoy the food. I'm not there for a drink. Come on.
I feel like there's a lot of people that are just going to be like really feel disappointed with that
Agitated.
because you've just gone for really like out there, like you've really thought about all that, and then you've just gone, yeah, just have water.
Some water from the glacier in Iceland that's not been melted for thousands of years. Pure H2O.
You don't want any tappy filtered water?
Sorry, yeah, tappy water. But yeah, we'd love to hear your death row meal.
Yeah.
Please send your death row meal in. Starter, main, dessert. Leave in the comments.
Leave it in the comments.
It'd be great to hear everyone's take on it. And if anyone chooses tiramisu for their dessert, I will find
Don't
you.
comment it.
I will find you and tell you how disappointed I am.
Put you on death row.
Yeah, I'll put you on death row. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the nutrition topic. We're going to be moving on to fasting. Big topic at the moment.
Very big topic.
A lot of haters.
Yeah,
A lot of people.
A lot of
trying
haters,
it.
a lot of lovers.
A lot of haters, a lot of lovers.
What are
Splitting a
you
lot
going
of
to
people.
be?
But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And
We'll see you soon.
see you soon.